Welcome, everyone, to the Spend Life Well show. I'm Certified Kingdom Advisor Mark Trice. I'm in the studio today with fellow financial professional Jesse Hamilton.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Going well. Hey, we're in the middle of fall, and of course, on the Spend Life Well show, we talk about financial topics and how we apply biblical wisdom to that. A little bit different workshop today or seminar today. What are we doing here? We're recording a podcast. That's what we're doing.
That's it.
We did a webinar last night, so I'm a little confused and a little confused about what we're doing here. But this is the Spend Life Well show. Glad you've chosen to join us today or take a few minutes to listen. We are today talking about 7 financial habits to incorporate into your life this fall.
Right. So we got the weather changing, the leaves are changing, all the grass died in like July, so that's not changing. But
no, it's just dormant. It didn't die. It's just dormant. And if it rains finally, then it'll be okay.
Right.
All right. So 7. So with the changing seasons, we always pull out our fall clothes. Maybe we wear darker things or things like that. We may even pull out a sweater or two.
Right.
If you're a Taylor Swift fan, it's a cardigan or something like that.
That's it.
That's what she wears.
Way to go, Mark.
I'm trying to be hip here. So with the changing season, also embrace financial changes in the season. So,
right. This is a big time for people psychologically to change. Like you said, they're changing their outfits. Why not change parts of your financial life? So revisit things that maybe you failed to do in the summer, or maybe your budget was destroyed all summer, and then this is a good time to reevaluate.
Right, because the fall is always a good time. You're going back to school. You're coming away from summer vacation, like you said.
That's right.
It's a good time to focus on it. So we're going to talk about 7 essential fall financial habits.
Right.
That we can talk about. Habit number 1, Jesse, is revise your budget for the season.
Exactly. So hopefully we're approaching some normalcy. We have kids in school and maybe some more, meals at home or scheduling out meals, that kind of thing. That can help with the budget. But
I'm envisioning the first really good cold snap that we have that will make some chili or something,
Well, I hate to break it to you. We already did that, even though it's not super cold.
Okay. All right. Well, you're a little strange, but that's okay. I like to have chili when it's cold.
Yeah.
Are you a beans or no beans?
Beans.
Okay, because I don't think you can have chili without beans.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's a debate. We encourage you to send in your comments about beans or no beans in your chili. Send that to info@clearvistafinancial.com, or you can just call us anytime in the office.
It was on my mind, Mark, because I heard of a friend of mine who has a family of 5, and they do a scheduled meal every day of the week. So it's like marinara Monday, taco Tuesday. It's the same every week. And I don't necessarily recommend that if you want variety in your diet, but it's a creative idea.
We're a little bit crazier in our house. We actually will have hamburger Saturdays. Now, you can't rhyme that with anything, but we have hamburger Saturdays, and that's just something that my wife started when she was a child, and we continue that on in our marriage as well. So on Saturdays, guess what? We're grilling hamburgers.
Right. Well, in Texas, your AC bill might be going down a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah, we might even be able to open the windows and not turn on the air.
That's right.
But you also might be turning on the heat a little bit at night. So we want to account for those changes or fluctuations in your budget and some other things that are coming up. Guess what? Christmas is around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're a big Halloween aficionado, which we in our family are not, but some people go all out for Halloween. Those are things you want to account for in your expenses and things. But there's other automobile things and autumn-related things like your cars. If you're living in a part of the country that actually gets snow, we probably won't get it here except maybe one time.
Yeah, you got to make some adjustments.
But I remember when I lived in the Northeast and when I lived in Colorado, people were telling me that you wanted to have a set of winter tires for snow. So
that's important.
All those things may be expenses. It's a good time to take a look at the budget, try to anticipate the future for the rest of the remainder of the year, holiday expenses and things like that, and prepare that and put them in your budget. Because believe it or not, Christmas comes around once every 365 days of the year.
That's right.
And we want to make sure that we're accounting for that. What's habit number 2, Jesse?
So audit and optimize your subscriptions. This is a very relevant part of our world. A lot of our services come via subscriptions, talking about videos, Prime, whatever, Netflix, whatever you do, you probably pay monthly on it. So it's a good time to check out your bank statement and see where those $10, $20, $30 payments are going and if you're using them.
Yeah, we did this audit in our house back in the summertime.
Okay.
And finally, I just had to tell the kids, sorry guys, you haven't even turned on I'll just give a subscription, Disney Plus, in 3 months. We're not going to keep that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know all the Star Wars stuff is on there, so we're probably turning it on once a day.
Yeah.
But, as an example, check those subscriptions, even magazine or newspaper subscriptions. Do you actually read the paper anymore? You want to make sure that you're still using those things, and it's a good time to wean out those things that you're paying for that you don't use that often.
Big one for me that I just canceled. It's kind of sad. I'm not a big gamer, but during the pandemic, I bought a high-level gaming subscription to log in with all my friends and play games, and I just haven't been doing it a lot lately, so I thought it was a good time to cut
It's
it.
time to let it go, Jesse.
Yeah.
Just let it go, like the Frozen song goes. Whatever, let it go.
So many Disney references.
Let it go. Yeah, I'm not promoting Disney at all. Especially this is a faith-based finance class, webinar, or what are we doing? A podcast?
Podcast.
Yeah. I'll get it right today, folks. Some point along the lines. But yeah, we just need to let it go, and that's what we should do there. So make sure you're looking up subscriptions, see if you use them, because it's you can't cancel it after the fact, after you've been billed. So
That's right.
depending on what cycle you're on, whether it be monthly, quarterly, or yearly, you can take steps to get rid of those subscriptions that we don't use that often. Habit number 3. Let's talk about this, Jesse. What's habit number 3?
Prepare your finances for year end.
Yes.
Talk about the significance. We're talking about important things happening at the end of the year. You might want to revisit your savings goals or
max out your 401k
max out your
contributions.
401k. Those are great. And if you don't know what those are, give us a call. We'll tell you what the IRS limits are for everything.
Yeah, many of us have HSA contributions that we can make, or I'm drawing a blank on the name of the accounts, but the things you set aside for medical expenses and things like that are on a yearly basis. You have to use them or lose them.
Right.
You want to check those things. You want to, like we said, make sure you're making the contributions. We also look at opportunities for doing tax planning. If you're over the age of 70 and a half, we like to talk about qualified charitable bill distributions. All those things need to be done really before December. I do want to point out we're having a 2023 year-end financial planning checklist coming up on November the 28th at 6 p.m. That's a webinar we'll do. You can register for that at clearvistafinancial.com/events.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, and hopefully it provides practical information to everybody who joins.
Habit number 4 is fall cleaning for financial clutter.
Yes, this kind of goes along one of the habits earlier, but we want to declutter our financial lives. And it's amazing, Mark, how tied our financial lives can really be to our mental health and our mental lives. And so a decluttered financial life can lead to a decluttered mind, in my opinion.
Yeah, and one example of this might be just simply your financial documents or accounts that you have. We oftentimes will see clients with a smattering of individual retirement accounts at 5 different institutions.
Right. You can very easily combine those all into one.
And a lot of times they don't realize that they don't really think about that too much because they were just talking to one person, they opened up an IRA, they talked to another person, they opened an IRA, and they can consolidate those things. That will reduce things. You can also reduce the amount of paper that you get too.
That's right. So do you have a recommendation for people on how long they should keep paper?
Well, and for me, I get all my records digitally.
Okay.
I can log in anytime and download a statement or anything. What I typically do, Jesse, is at the end of the year, on my December 31st statement, I'll print that one out, put it in my folder for the tax year.
Okay.
So I have a copy of that with my tax files. But otherwise, you can keep those on your computer. You can just simply log in and look at them. But a lot of financial institutions, especially custodians for investment accounts, are charging a fee for mailing you a piece of paper.
Yes, we've seen that.
There's another way to save a little money by doing that. So think about decluttering your financial life, organize your accounts, statements, and so forth.
Right.
Habit number 5, harvesting investment potential.
I love the crossover here between fall, right? We're trying to harvest our crop, and the same metaphor applies to the things that we're growing with our investments.
That's right. You want to think about things that are paying a dividend maybe. that if that's suitable for you or appropriate for you. I'm thinking about harvesting and it pays dividends and plant seeds and stuff for the future.
That's right.
So make sure that you're looking at your investments. Are we taking advantage of what's going on in the markets right now as we go into the fall harvest season, if you will?
Right. And of course, if we're managing it for you, we're going to look at all these things on your behalf. But if you're a semi-pro on your own, you're buying stocks, just review your portfolio or even share it with us. We'll give you some advice on it.
Yeah, that's a good time to have a second opinion is in the fall, just to see how you're on track for your goals and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Habit number 6, setting SMART, and SMART is an acronym.
That's right.
SMART goals for the season. Now, listeners, you may not know what SMART is, but it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals for the fall and near the end of the year. So that means setting goals for the future that are very defined and specific. I can measure them. I can achieve that, and if I need to talk to a financial advisor, I can help setting those goals. But you want to think about setting those SMART goals for the end of the year and going into next year.
That's right. This can be big purchases or savings goals, retirement goals, really anything.
Right. And then habit number 7, this is one we talk about a lot as it pertains to biblical wisdom, and that's practicing gratitude.
That's right.
In your finances. And there is a significant, Scripture talks about a significant connection between gratitude and your financial well-being.
That's right. And this is a very challenging thing to do. I try to practice it as much as possible, but that I'm not saying it's easy because it's not.
Well, and you know, in the New Testament, Paul talks about being content in whatever situation that you're in.
That's right.
And we should be content with whatever situation we're in at the time. Doesn't prohibit us from setting those SMART goals for the future, but we should be gracious and thankful for what the Lord has blessed us with during this time as well. And in the fall season's a kind of a time. There's a couple different holidays dealing with thanks and being thankful for things. So we just want to remind our listeners that's coming up.
That's
Maybe
right.
you should practice that gratitude for your finances during the fall season.
And we're the financial guys, and this is definitely crossing over into the spiritual side of things, but that's what we really like to talk about here because they're both so important.
Yeah, the Bible has over 2,000 verses dealing with money and possessions,
That's
as we
right.
said before. And we think there's a lot of wisdom in Scripture to guide listeners on their financial journey. Now, fall's not without its challenges, right? We tend to get even busier in the fall with trying to keep up with kids or grandkids, all the sporting events. Maybe you follow college football and you want to go to a game or two, which means you could be spending more. And also, there's all sorts of challenges that come around the holidays with increased stress.
For me, we have so many family members out of state that it's an elevated expense for us to travel and see them.
And the best thing to try to minimize that financial stress is to make sure you have a spending plan in advance. If you stick to your guns, you're more likely to have less stress knowing that you're spending what you said you were going to spend.
Yeah.
It won't create a problem for you in the new year when all those bills come due. All right? So in summary, real quick, let's summarize those 7 fall financial habits covered in the episode. Number 1, revise your budget for the season. Number 2, audit and optimize your subscriptions. Number 3, prepare for your finances for the year end. Number 4, fall cleaning for financial decluttering. Number 5, harvest your investment potential. Make sure you're looking at your investments to see if they're on track. Number 6, setting SMART, that's S-M-A-R-T, goals for the season. And number 7, practicing gratitude in your finances.
Yep.
We just want to stress this time is a great time to look at your finances and reorganize them and so forth. We encourage you to start implementing some of these habits and, share your progress with us, with the podcast community, because we'll be glad. And you can make comments in the session there. You can like this video. You can also encourage you to share it. But Jesse, as we wrap up, I just want to thank you for helping out today and being part of the podcast. Listeners, we thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Spend Like Well Show. As I said, subscribe to our channel so you can get alerts when we post a new video. Leave us a review. We want to know how we're doing and what things you want to listen to. And of course, we love it when you share.
Exactly. We would love to hear from you. And just thanks so much for being a part of our show.
All right, thanks. Until next time, you've been listening to the Spin Life Well Show.